Welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. I just got back from vacation. I went to Puerto Rico, had an awesome time, but I had zero plan for this week for videos because last week was crazy with work and everything. So I was standing here racking my brain. What should I make for a video? What should I do? What should I review? And I was looking at these three bottles. And these were three of my favorite bottles from last year. And I thought, you know what? They've all got a good amount of air in them. Let's revisit them. Let's see if they still hold up from last year, from what I thought of them last year. So let's do that. So first up, we're going to look at Remus Repeal Reserve. This is 5. It's a blend of 16 to 13-year-old bourbons, all high rye. We're rated 100 proof. Bottled and bond proof. It's not really, but same proof as bottled and bond. So let's see. Let's just see if it holds up, if it's as good as I remember it being. And we'll just blow through all three of these and see if, with this much air in the bottle, if they've changed, if they've altered, if they're still as good as when I first tried them. So let's do that. Wonderful example of MGP perfection. This Remus 5 is absolutely wonderful on the nose. And it still smells the way I remember. This much air in the bottle. It's only about half full now. It hasn't changed much, this taste. It has changed on the taste. The taste is a bit different. The taste is a little, with the air that's in it now, it's a little bit of acrid. It's just a little bit sharper than I remember it being. I remember it being really fruity and luscious and pretty on the taste. And it's a little sharper, a little rougher. It's a little spiky, honestly, on the taste. The nose is still gorgeous, fruity, nutty, sweet, beautiful. Wow, yeah, that's amazing. The palate has kind of fallen off a little bit. This is a really good MGP bottle as well, and just because. Oh, wow. Yeah. Ooh. Huh. That's interesting. The Remus Repeal 5 has changed from my memory, and I have a pretty good memory, photographic. It's changed quite a bit from the way it was when I had it last year. Is it still good? Yeah, it's still good. It's still really good. But it's not, excuse me, it's not quite how it was when I've drank several of these, but this one has sat for quite a while. I haven't gone back to that bottle in a long time. So this one is sat open with air in it for longer than any other Remus Repeal that I've had. So it'd be interesting. I'm going to, at some point, review the Remus 1 through 4 and the 5 and hopefully 6 when it comes out. I'm going to do all 6 of them. And when I do that, I'll be fresh cracking a Remus 5. And it'll be interesting to compare this one that's half full to a full one and see what my thoughts are then. So we'll do that. We'll do that when the time comes. All right, let's move on. That's really interesting. That has changed quite a bit on the palate, and I like it less, unfortunately. So next up we have J. Henry and Sons. This is their 2021 limited edition, special release, yada yada. It's a blend of 8 barrels, aged 6 to 11 years. Oh, that nose. Oh, it's outrageous. I'm so glad I have a backup bottle of this. The nose is just super fruity and oily. And just, oh man, that's candy. That's candy on the nose. That's nose candy. You know, some people are like, you know, Amber Turd in the courtroom on the stand, taking a little bump. That's what it looked like anyway. This is nose candy. Oh man, that still smells unbelievable. Let's taste. See if the palate fell off like the Remus. Oh. Oh. Oh, I think that might have gotten better. That's wild. I wrote some of my notes on the back of the bottle here on stickers. Dark cinnamon, candy shell, fresh rye, spicy cashews, stewed fruit, candied dates, cordial cherries, brown sugar with melted butter, and candied pears. Oh, man. I still agree with almost all of that. I'm not picking up the spicy cashews as much. Oh yeah, they are there. Wow, that's so wild. Those, you know, those jalapeno dusted cashews you can get in the bag. That kind of spicy cashews. That's impressive. I honestly think that this bottle has gotten better with air. There's like almost a bubblegum fruity note on the nose, right on the approach. The cinnamon is a little lighter. It's not quite as bold of a cinnamon note, but it's still there. It's nice and round. And I'm getting hints of ginger now that I didn't get before. I don't remember ever smelling ginger on the J. Henry 2021, but I'm getting it now. Oh my. I think that is actually maybe even gotten better. Holy crap. Okay, last one. We're gonna do the Yellowstone, the limited edition from 2021, the Amarone finished. This is a blend of 15-year and 7-year bourbons, finished in Amarone casks. Amarone is a really special wine. You can research that on your own. I'll let you. I did it all before, and it's a process, but it's really interesting how it's made, and so let's dive into this bad boy. Oh, super fruity, luscious. It's luscious. It's luscious on the nose. The grape notes might even be stronger now than I remember. Super, super grapey. Very sweet and forward with those notes. That's so odd. There's as I've mentioned in many of my videos, I see smells. Like I visualize what I'm smelling. And so like if I'm smelling grapes, I visualize grapes. If I'm smelling something that is green, I'll visualize whatever it is that's green. When I smell this, that's so odd. I smell and visualize nice red grapes, like a whole clump of them on their little viney dew, sitting on a bed of lettuce. Don't know why. Green, beautiful lettuce. That's what I visualize when I smell this. Let's taste it and see what visuals we get from that. Oh. This has gotten a bit sharper and a bit rougher, like the Remus. It's still great. It's spicy. The nose presents as super friendly and sweet and beautiful forward, and then the palate is spicy and a little bit aggressive, a little bit harsh. Going back to the nose, a little bit of those sharp notes come through on the nose now. Huh. Wow, that's really interesting. I'm not in love with the taste of that. The nose is still wonderful, but the palate has kind of fallen off on that as well. It's a little rough, a little aggressive, a little sharp. Not the way I remember it. I remember it being much more welcoming and friendly, and it's just sweet and delicate, and wow. Okay, so that guy and the Remus have changed a lot, and not necessarily for the better, with letting them get this much air in them, letting them sit for this long. Meanwhile, the J. Henry, I think J. Henry's done nothing but get better. As wild as that is, it's so interesting to play with whiskeys and see what happens as you let air get into them. There was a couple years ago, I did I did the great whiskey. I called it the Great Whiskey Jerk Off, because I was calling myself a jerk, and I tasted through every bottle in my collection, every single bottle. Now, obviously, my collection was smaller several years ago, but I tasted through every whiskey in my collection to come up with what I thought was the best whiskey from each category in my collection. And when I did that, because there was such a wide variety of ages of the whiskeys that I owned, I let them sit. And I tasted, would have a whole lineup of 15 or 20 whiskeys from each category, and I poured a glen of it, and I would let them sit, and I tried all of them after 5 minutes, and then I let them sit, and I went back through and sipped all of them after 10 minutes, and on up. It's because some of the older whiskeys, you're supposed to let them sit, and they say a minute for every year in the bottle. Whatever. Some people prescribe to that or live by that. Some people are like, it's bull. But I do have to tell you that as those whiskeys sat, some of them got better the longer they sat, and some of them would fall off the longer they sat. And then some of the ones that got better, if you waited even longer, then they started to fall off. I had a really great bottle of Elijah Craig 18-year, one of the older ones with all the vines on the front, the older style bottle, and it was unbelievable. And when I did that comparison, after it sat for 15 to 20 minutes, it got unbelievably good, just amazingly good. But when it got out to around 30 minutes, it took a turn. It took a turn so hard that it went from being one of my favorites in the lineup to being one of my least favorites in the lineup. So it's really fascinating to play around with how much air is in your whiskey and letting it open breathe like this and what it does to it. Some whiskeys absolutely get better with, as they sit. Some fall off, some get better and then fall off, and some just keep getting better. And man, that's so wild to revisit. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hey, the J. Henry gets better and better with age. That is just amazing. And two of these other two that were some of my absolute favorites from last year, they would not rank as one of my favorites right now if I compared these bottles as they are to other stuff in my collection right now, they wouldn't rank in my top 10 probably right now. Not on the palette for sure. The noses are still wonderful, but the palettes have taken a fall off. But this one stayed right where it was, or got better. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, I hope you have a great